What is going on, everybody? It's the France, and we're here for AEW on TBS review for April the 6th, 2022. The fallout of sorts from Best of Super Card of Honor for Ring of Honor as the tag team titles were on the line tonight. Samoa Joe made his in-ring AEW debut, taking on Max Caster in the first men's qualifier for the Owen Hart Cup. Christian Cage took on Adam Cole. Hikaru Shida would be the third person to take on somebody as she took on Julia Hart in a qualifier for the Owen Hart Cup for the women's side. And show much more. We started the show with Adam Cole, baby, and Christian Cage. These guys have been in tag team matches over the last few months, but this is their first time ever meeting one-on-one. So, something to look forward to. They lock up early. Christian Cage, who takes control of the start, but Adam Cole quickly reverses it by taking the veteran into the corner, abusing full 5 count. Cole then rolls to the outside and spits on Christian. However, he tries to run around. Cage goes up under the ropes and then drops him with a clothesline. Cage then unloads a series of chops, but Cole reverses when he's being put on the turnbuckle. He escapes out and hits a kick to the leg, which sees Cage drop and hang, allowing Cole to hit a free super kick shot to the face. This match was absolutely just awesome. These two went out here, and this was such a good fucking match. Now, hold on here. Cole continues putting pressure on the inside the ring, standing on his neck while Christian's head is stuck on the bottom rope. The veteran wants to turn things around with a dive to the outside, and they go back and forth with punches. Inside the ring, Cage is able to connect with a swinging DDT, but Cole then kicks out. The veteran, Christian, of course, looks for an inside cradle, and then he transitions into a reverse DDT, but misses wildly with a top rope splash. Cole then follows up with a series of kicks, into the face, and he hits the boom, but he hits the Shining Wizard from the front. The lower of the boom, of course, is him hitting a Shining Wizard to the back of the head with his knee exposed. This time, he hit him knee first to the face, but they did not lower the what do you want to call it? The knee pad, so Christian was kicked out, and they also factored into why Christian kicked out. So, Christian slaps him and follows him up with a Hurricane Run, and then Cole does go for the Panama Sunrise because he wants to get this done and over with. He just wants to beat Christian Cage and move on to his next thing, which is, of course, being the World Heavyweight Champion. So, he goes up for the Panama Sunrise, and Christian Cage stops this, slaps him, knocks him over. Christian slaps him, follows up with a Hurricane Run, and then it's time for the Undisputed Elite Star who kicks out. Cage looks for a spear, but eats a kick to the knee. Although Cage then reverses the Panama Sunrise, however, Cole reverses the spear into a pump kick. The reversals continue after the attempted boom again. Cage finally hits the spear, nice looking spear. But Cole kicks out and gains a huge standing ovation. Cole goes after his opponent, but he hides through the ropes. With the referee stuck in the middle, he rakes the eyes, nails him with the boom, lowers the knee pad, and lowers the boom. 1, 2, 3. Adam Cole picks up the win. And Boston, I just gotta say, you guys were fucking fantastic tonight. I don't know what it was, but Boston just came out here and brought it. They just love themselves some good old professional wrestling because they went out here and showed you why they were great fans. They were hot all fucking night. Cole wins. Red Dragon attack Christian, but Jurassic Express make the save and they fight to the back. Cole is left alone in the ring. Hangman comes out and Cole tells him, "Stop the music and stop coming. I'm not facing you in this ring until the title is on the long." And Paige is scared of him. Paige says, "You want a title shot? You want to fight? It will serve as your punishment because it just so happens that Rampage is live in Texas next week. Also will be where they record Battle of the Belts. Battle of the Belts will not be live this time, which is fine." He tells him he will defend the title against him in a Texas death match to get his affairs in order, and that was that. So, Adam Cole, barking up the wrong tree, has gotten himself into something that he is not going to be ready for. And AEW sure as shit loves their Texas Death matches. This is the second Texas Death match we will have in this company this year. We had one last year also with, I know it was Jon Moxley and Lance Archer who won the New Japan Championship from the IWGP US Championship from Jon Moxley in a Texas Death match. Samoa Joe makes his way to the ring. Out comes Max Caster. Gives him a nice big rap, calling him X Division, calling him injury prone, pointing out while they beat NXT in the ratings, Joe was their champion, which is not true at all. Seeing as Samoa Joe was on the main roster by the time they got to the NXT, we got to the Wednesday Night Raw, Samoa Joe was on the main roster, and when Samoa Joe became champion for the third time and for that 2-week period, a week and a half period, the war was over and NXT was on Tuesday night, so that wasn't really true. So Max pretty much just gets in here. He just gets his ass kicked. Let's just say that right now. He does get some offense in on him because Anthony Bowens helps distract him. But I will say, Samoa Joe is one over motherfucker. The crowd from start to finish was just, and you have people online why is Samoa Joe why is he jobbing to Samoa Joe? Why? You listen to the crowd. Everyone knew Max Caster. Max Caster is a young lion. He is a young guy in this business. He losing to Samoa Joe tonight, you're going to forget about that in 10, 15 years, or however long Max Caster's around. He could be around for 5 years. And you know what? You're not even going to remember all this when he's sitting there, rapping his ass off or doing whatever. If he changes his gimmick from being a rapper to something else, you're not going to remember him losing to Samoa Joe when he's out there being TNT champion, or eventually maybe one day wins the tag team titles with Anthony Bowens. This isn't going to fucking matter. Right person won this match. Joe just got here. Joe was not losing. We're going to have a lot of talent. I can't wait to see who else is going to be in this tournament. We have Samoa Joe. That's it. For the women, before tonight, we had Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter. So, I don't know who's going to be what we're going to be going on with that. As he's in the rings, backstage we see Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal showing saying they won't ruin this moment because they got more class, unlike last week. But they changed the outcome of life, and Lethal wonders if he had the outlook if Joe actually answered his phone, because for 4 months, he has been calling him. He has been trying to get a hold of his mentor for 4 months. This dude hasn't answered his phone, except for when it's with billionaires. His first shirt should be Samoa Joe Gold Digger, which they could have did a better name than that, but okay. Now, they say next week they're gonna have a present for this dude. They're gonna have a present for Samoa Joe that's gonna be something that he's not going to forget, and that is that. So yes, obviously, Samoa Joe is going to open up a can of whoop-ass on these guys next week. Samoa Joe, Jay Lethal, we'll see what happens with that and all that. Tony Schiavone's backstage with the Blackpool Combat Club, and William Regal hypes up Rampage. We got Wheeler Yuta, who already is impressed. He is the pure champion of Ring of Honor. He has already impressed Mr. William Regal. He has already impressed Bryan Danielson. But he has to, on Friday night, go up against Jon Moxley. As William Regal put it himself, the one that is the hardest of all three of them to impress. So Jon Moxley, Wheeler Yuta, Trent Beretta is going to take on Bryan Danielson. But Jon Moxley says weather forecast for Friday is bones breaking like thunder, cracking like thunderstorm, and rain. The color and blood and blood raining down everywhere. So cannot wait to see. Fucking Wheeler Yuta has had a big month over the last 3 weeks. Bryan Danielson, he got slapped by William Regal and stood up to him. Fought Bryan Danielson, beat Josh Woods for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, and is now going to be facing Jon Moxley. Dude is going to be a big fucking deal when it's all said and done. Captain Shaun Dean versus Shawn Spears. This is the Battle of the Shawns. Basically, as we know, MJF's first match of 2022 was against Shaun Dean. When the match happened, CM Punk ran out, beat up Shaun Dean, gave him a win, so MJF started 0-1 on this year. So, we had this match, and basically Shawn Spears is just beating the hell out of Shaun Dean. He's just beating him up. He had the win. He was going to beat him. But, of course, what's going on? Of course, MJF is on commentary, so here comes, we go, like, Shawn Spears has got him up for the ATL, or the, whatever this fucking finisher is. And he's going to use his finisher. But we see, as soon as he's going for his finisher, the screens show us backstage. He goes zooming in, and there's about 4 or 5 security guards just dead. They are done. They're out of here. MJF's like, what the hell's going on? What the hell's going on? And Excalibur was like, dude, you're just going to have to find out for yourself. And then we see that Wardlow has made his way to the arena, and he is beating the shit out of all these dime store security guards. These penny store security guards. They're just getting beat all over the place, pillar to post. And then he gets out there, he kills a couple more. Then the big guys come in, the actual real security guards come in and hold him back. While this is going on, Captain Shaun Dean rolls up Shawn Spears for the 1, 2, 3. So Shaun Dean, who shouldn't have lost the match on Dark, so he should still be undefeated, which would be a bigger deal. If they didn't have Shaun Dean lose a match on Dark, this would be a bigger. They would make this would be feel like a much bigger deal. But Shaun Dean officially has wins over Shaun Spears and one MJF. Johnny is backstage with the best friends as Chuck Taylor says that he loves Wheeler, him and Orange do. You still sleep on my couch, dude. And we brought you into this building. You know you want to this business in this company. We know you want to be the best professional wrestler, but you can do that with us. Trent says, you know what? I don't like this guy. I think he's a scumbag and a traitor. He says, look what happened with you and Danielson last week. Come take notes on Friday, and maybe you'll learn something. They push each other, and Wheeler's just having none of this. So Wheeler, who is holding the Pure Championship, which that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that is what we're going to see coming up this Friday night, and I don't know how long, but very, very soon, Wheeler Yuta will be joining Bryan Danielson and John. Sammy Guevara, Tay Conti are doing the usual card gimmick, taking shots at American Top Team. Tay could be there, Tay could not be there. I really don't care about these card gimmicks. It's in picture-in-picture, so I'm not going to spend my time reading them. You see that earlier today, the team of Santana, Ortiz, and Kingston, which I'm going to refer to them as LAX because that's what I know them as, are beating the living fuck out of the Jericho Appreciation Society. So much so that Eddie Kingston takes the backstage flat screen, picks this sumbitch up, and chases them away and throws it at them as they exit the building. Jake Hager drives up with a car. They get the JAS, get into the car, and they drive away. Ortiz running as fast as he can to get to that car, but they're gone before he can get to him. So LAX makes it to come to the ring. No music at all. He says, yo, you probably waiting for our music? That's not how we roll. And Kingston pretty much says, on site. On site, which means, Jericho, you can be with your kids and your wife. I'm going to beat the shit out of you. I'm going to come after you. Your boys over here, Daddy Magic and them, if I see you with your kids and stuff, doesn't matter, I'm beating your ass. Daniel Garcia, he's like, I know where you live. You don't think I'm going to come beat your ass? Santana gets the mic and says, that's what we do. And that's all he really says. Ortiz says, turn him up for next week for a 6-man tag team match, or don't. On site. That's all there is to it. Kingston says they will be in the New Orleans and they will beat their asses Junkyard Butch Sweet style. And that is that. So this is going to be very, very interesting. It will be LAX versus Jericho Appreciation Society, Hager, Jericho, and Garcia. Obviously, when everything's all said and done with LAX versus these guys, the Jericho Appreciation Society eventually will be going up against the Blackpool Combat Club when they get more people. Because we're gonna be leading to a blood and guts with the Blackpool Combat Club, the professional wrestlers versus the sports entertainers. That's obviously where this is going. More stupid shit from the TBS champion. Obviously, they're building this thing up as if she doesn't think Marina Shafir is a problem and she's the problem solver. I'm sorry, that's Tyson Tomko's nickname, not yours. Good try, though. I thought you were the Goldberg reject. Has her own baddie section, like nobody cares. Moving on. MJF and Shaun Spears are backstage as Spears tells Wardlow he is pissing up the wrong tree. He says if Wardlow shows up next week, there will be twice as many security members, which I don't think Wardlow cares. He then tells Shaun D he will face him next week and there will be a purple heart as he's going to hurt him more than he could have done in the service. Yeah. Okay, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure that Wardlow does not care about this security. Now, I will say, everything they're doing with Wardlow and MJF, I am fucking loving everything. MJF, that sneezling little piece of garbage, sitting there, just keeping this guy at home, will not let this guy come to work. Why? Because he's a piece of shit. He is a piece of shit. Wardlow's like, you know what? I told you when I cut that promo the Wednesday after Revolution that I don't care. He doesn't care. He's gonna come in there, he's gonna beat ass, and he's gonna take names all the way down, all the way. And eventually, I don't know how long they're gonna be able to stretch this out. Can they get us to Double or Nothing? I think it's the end of next month. I think it's the 23rd of next month. So, can they stretch this out long enough to get us to, not the 23rd. I think it's the 21st or the 22nd. I think it's the 22nd or the 29th, one of those two times. Can we stretch this out long enough for that? I do not know. So, yeah. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Wardlow. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with MJF and how they continue to do this. What's going to lead to the match. Because you know Wardlow is going to have to face Shaun Spears first. You know that's going to have to happen. Once he destroys Shaun Spears, he'll get MJF and him at the pay-per-view. I can't wait to see. This is probably this is the best stuff I've seen on AEW. This is the best thing going on AEW right now is MJF and Wardlow. I mean, the Blackpool Combat Club is up there, but it's definitely MJF and Wardlow. Hardys versus the Butcher and Blade tables elimination match, even though they didn't say it was an elimination match. But apparently, if somebody got slammed through a table from your team, that person gets eliminated, even though it's no disqualification, which the ending this match made no fucking sense. Apparently, so Jeff and the Butcher get eliminated. Apparently, they stay out there. They help their teammates, and it's a tables match. Who cares a shit? Which, yeah, Tony, you know the Hardy Boys can do wrestling without having to do high-flying matches like this, right? You can have them wrestle normal tag team matches all the time, right? So, Jeff's supposed to be eliminated, so the Butcher, the Blade, and Matt are left. Supposed to be. Why the Butcher and Jeff Hardy won't move from ringside is beyond me. But the Hardys bust out a ladder, set Blade up on a table, and Jeff swantons through the table to help his team win. But I'm like, wait a minute. Didn't Jeff get eliminated? So this doesn't make any sense. This entire match just was a clusterfuck and didn't make any sense to me. How is it that the Hardys are supposed to be... Well, Jeff's supposed to be eliminated and the Butcher's supposed to be eliminated, but they're still there. They can help their teammates, and Jeff can eliminate the Blade. It didn't make any sense. This was, I think, the down part of the show, because it just they took a simple table match. You have two teams, one person goes to the table, that's it. and try to do an elimination, but the two people who got eliminated, it didn't matter because Jeff, who was supposed to be eliminated, picked up the win for his team. It didn't make any sense to me. After the match, Andrade, Jose, and Private Party head out. Sting comes out to level things up, using the bat to scare everyone off. Andrade uses the bunny as a shield. Maybe that will prompt the Butcher and the Blade to eventually break away from Andrade. Backstage, we have the Jurassic Express and Christian Cage backstage. Christian pours water himself and then just throws it away and leaves. They're like, what the fuck? Then the Jurassic Express point out that Red Dragon's record isn't good enough to face them, so they'll challenge them next week instead, and they'll put the titles on the line. Not at Battle of the Belts, but next Wednesday night, which you're having Battle of the Belts on Saturday, are you not? Why are we doing, we only have one title match here in second announced for it. World title is not even going to be on Battle of the Belts, it's going to be on Rampage. Tony Khan is making this Battle of the Belts, and so far, it's going to be another skip show. I skipped the first one because there was nothing worth a damn. Cody was out with COVID, so you couldn't have that match where Sammy Guevara was supposed to win the championship. You didn't have the world title on the line. You didn't have the tag team titles on the line. You didn't even have the TBS championship finals there, which would have made fucking sense to have the finals on that show. You had the women's title match, which was a fucking joke because of who champion was at the time. You had the FTW title, which isn't an actual title that should be sanctioned in the show and be given so much credence. And then you had a interim TBS title match. So far, after that, we get a video package of Thunder Rosa says she will defend the title against Nyla Rose at Battle of the Belts. Battle of the Belts is next fucking week, and you're having the world title on Rampage and the tag team titles on Wednesday nights. What are you doing for Battle of the Belts? Battle of the Belts is a failed concept for this company already. You're going to be at Battle of the Belts 2, and you can't even get your World Heavyweight Championship on that show. Yes, you have it on a live Rampage. You're going to take Battle of the Belts, obviously, because they did advertise the match for Saturday. Why is the world title not on the line at Battle of the Belts? What in the hell are you doing? I don't get it. Backstage, we have Jamie Hayter and Tony Storm face-to-face, and Tony Schiavone's like, no physicality. Tony Storm puts her hand out to shake. Jamie slaps it away and says, man, I hope we face each other in the tournament. All the momentum that you got stops with me. Cody says, nah, we have only just begun. And they walk away. Hikaru Shida versus Julia Hart. Okay. Julia Hart, did she not get sprayed in the face from Malachi Black at the end of last year? Still got the eye patch on. What are they doing with her besides, why is she not a part of the House of Black? When is she going to join the House of Black? What is going on? I want to be invested in this, but you don't. It's most of the time, last week when they were facing off, when the Blondes were facing off against the Combat Club, when we find out their names, she just sat on the stairs and she looked like an emo kid. She looks so like a depressed emo kid. That's what she does with those matches. For a while there, she was sitting around just waving at people, maybe talking to a little girl or a little kid at the ringside area, which was fine. It's in dark elevation, whatever. But now she's just sitting there and moping and being upset, and it's like, can we cut to the chase of this already and get her to the spot that she needs to be? Where is the chase and how do I cut to it? Julia Hart blasts Sheida from behind when she's posing on the ring post. Then uses her jacket to choke her out. The Varsity Blondes are like, what are you doing? She's like, just leave. Just leave. Kicks out her own people, her own team. I don't see that. You don't see that happening. I mean, yeah, you had Bandito on Friday kick out Chavo Guerrero because he got caught cheating. But this is what the fuck? She then drops Hart on top of the turnbuckle and follows up with a knee strike. Sheida gets out of the chair and launches her off and hits a dropkick. When Sheida gets back into the ring, Hart attacks, facing a more aggressive side. Julia continues to dominate, standing and pushing down on her while Sheida's on the ropes. Sheida tries to mount a fight back in this with several hammering blows. She charges in the corner and hits a knee strike, following up with a great suplex with Hart on the ring apron. Sheida heads to the corner, drags her opponent back over with a suplex. Into the ring, however, Hart then attacks the eye of Hikaru Shida, following up with a bulldog, but Sheida kicks out. Hart then misses a high-risk move, and Sheida follows up with a back fist and then a spinning knee strike, and then hits the Falcon Arrow for the 1, 2, 3. Sheida picks up the win. Obviously, was going to. I'll talk about Julia Hart in a minute because I've seen some fucking idiots online. Serena Deeb's music hits. Sheida's got her kendo stick ready. She's ready to go. And then she suddenly turns around and sees that Steve has the chair. She's ready to fight. If this does not lead to a lights out match between these two, what the fuck are you doing? This has to be in a lights out match, done and over with. They face off. Sheida has her is ready to go, and Steve just smiles and leaves as the crowd boos. Now, I've seen a lot of people online bitching and moaning about Julia Hart being in the ring on TV. She's 20 years old! She is a young lioness in the world of professional wrestling. She started wrestling. She was in the Nightmare Factory showcase when she was 19 years old. And she looked okay. They put her with the blondes. She's improved. Anybody who's there's some other people out there trying to compare her to the Big Swole situation with Big Swole, how Big Swole declined. There's a major difference. Julia Hart is getting better. It might be slow. Again, she's 20 years old. And if anybody would need to have some visits to the independent circuit, or maybe if they can get a couple, if they could get a couple matinee shows on a Friday or Saturday, house shows, she could use that ring work. She's definitely a case of if they had more time for these talents. I'm not saying have 300 days a year, but having a show like a house show on the weekends when you're not doing anything else, that would help her out a lot. But again, she's 20 years old. 10 years from now, when she's 30, she's going to be a lot better. And everything that you say about Julia Hart right now will be fucking irrelevant. Shut the fuck up. Obviously, she wasn't going to win. Sheida was going to do it. Julia Hart, which it is kind of funny if she was if her skill level was a little bit better, which she'll get there eventually. It seems like a missed opportunity to have somebody with the last name Hart in the Owen Hart tournament, even though I know she's not related to the Hart family. I don't know if that's her actual last name or if she just uses it because she's a fan of the Harts. I don't know. I've never met her before. So Swerve is backstage talking about being at the Grammys. He hasn't forgotten about last match, seeing what happened with Keith Lee and them on Friday night. He has his way to the locker room, but here comes Hobbs and Starks. They jump in. Keith Lee then appears, charges him. They beat up, and then Keith Lee puts Will Hobbs through a fucking thin wall. You know, one of those fake walls they like to do, which clearly wasn't an actual wall there. If you're going to put somebody through a wall, you're going to see wires coming down and everything. No, this was a fucking, one of those fake walls. But, damn. So, next week they're going to be in New Orleans. How you don't have Ricky Starks, which I'm pretty sure is from New Orleans, is he not? How you don't have this match already booked for Wednesday night is beyond me. Swerve and Keith Lee versus Team Taz. Book it, Tony. In NOLA, plain and simple. FTR versus the Young Bucks for the Ring of Honor and AAA World Tag Team Championships. Shout out to Tony Khan for bringing in the ring announcer for Ring of Honor to ring announce and introduce the challengers and the champions for this match. Fucking awesome. FTR, I never thought I would see them have such a good run as babyfaces. When they were in WWE and they were the heels that they were, I was like, these guys are just too good to ever be babyfaces. But here they are, the crowd are in their back, they are backing them. The crowd, again, Boston, you were fucking fantastic tonight. Round of applause for Boston for being as good of a crowd as last week or the week before that. Man, when they were done with that 4-week trip in Florida, Florida was just like tired and done with AEW. They went to Texas. They went to South Carolina, I think it was. They came to Boston. And these crowds have been on fucking fire everywhere they go. And this was a damn good match. Was it as good as the Briscoes versus FTR? No. One of the things that takes away from it is the fact that it is on TV and there's commercials. That definitely takes away from anything. It was still a damn good match. FTR is definitely just firing on all cylinders. I'm so happy to see how this stuff's going. I'm just going to say this right now. FTR, from this match and the match they had with the Briscoes, had 2 better matches than everything you saw on Saturday or Sunday night. Don't fight me on it. Don't even try to argue. FTR and the Briscoes was the best match WrestleMania weekend, and then FTR and the and the Young Bucks was better than everything on WrestleMania. It's like right behind them is Bianca and Becky and Seth and Cody. Everything else on those shows was fucking mid compared to this. This was fucking great. Cash and Matt start the match with shoves in the corner, but the FTR star brings Matt down to Matt several times. Man, I just hate saying Matt to the mat. It's just so weird. He keeps things hot with the shoulder tackle, and then he mocks the Bucks by doing the pose. Matt Jackson charges in, but Wheeler drags him down again, and Dax comes in. However, Nick Jackson manages to tag him, but Howard keeps control with a headlock as then starts working his arm. Dax pulls the headgear off Nick and just opens his trucks and just slowly puts it in as the crowd goes wild. Pulls it back out and throws it at his brother's face. Following up with a scoop slam to Nick, then keep the fast pace, but Nick then tags out only for Dax to roll away. All 4 end up in the ring facing off, and they just start brawling. We got the fucking Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens beating the fuck out of each other type of move for both men. It's the challengers who come up on top, breaking both men down with double tip tosses and dropkick combination, but Wheeler responds with a double clothesline, and he tags in, then locking in the sharpshooter. Nick tries to break it up, but the super kick, but what avoids it. I've never seen anybody do that. When you get hit, when you're in the sharpshooter and someone super kicks you usually take it. This motherfucker ducked the super kick, allowing his partner to grab Nick, put him in the sharpshooter, and we have a double sharpshooter. Nick gauges the eye of Wheeler and then breaks things up. This had to happen during the commercial break. The Bucks then hit several combination attacks in the corner, including a cannonball and Enziguri. Matt heads to the second turnbuckle and drops down with an elbow drop, and Nick then comes in pushing Cash. Head into the ropes. Nick gets a slingshot and over. We're going to go a little bit further in the match because there's just so much in this match. This was so fucking good. Let's see here. Let's get towards the end of the match. Nick then grabs the ROH belt. Dax sees this, and we start seeing a tug of war as Nick fights out and ends up clocking Cash in the head with it after Cash went for the roll-up. 1-2 kick out. And I hate Rick Knox. How are you going to do a Ring of Honor championship match like this? Have the ring announcer for Ring of Honor, but do not have the right referee. I'm sorry. How do you not have Bryce Rensburg here? How do you not have... It's like, how do you have Rick Knox as the fucking referee for this? I don't understand it. Nick then, he hits him. He hits it. The referee, you could literally see his head. You could see it in the corner of your eye. If you were standing where the referee was standing, you would have seen the belt shot. Falls back in the roller, but Harwood breaks it up. He gets sent out to the double super kick and then hit with the BTE trigger to Cash, but he gets his foot on the rope. The referee sees it after he hits the 3. He's like, no, match isn't over. His foot's on the rope. The Bucks are apoplectic. They're pissed off. Like, what the hell are you talking about? We got the win. No. FTR fights back and hits a slingshot powerbomb tombstone combination. They nail Matt with a BTE trigger of their own. And then they keep a hold of him, kiss Matt like Matt does to Adam Cole, like the Bucks do to Adam Cole. And then, instead of letting him go and letting him fall into the big rig, they pull him into the big rig. 1, 2, 3. FTR retain the championships. And that is how the show goes off the air. Damn good match. FTR, 2 back, like I said, FTR and Briscoe's match of the year. Match of the year. Absolutely. That's the match of the year right there. This one's not up there. Honestly, because of the commercial breaks. If this was a commercial free and we saw everything from start to finish, I'd be like, that's right up there with Briscoes and FTR. But I gotta ding it a bit because of the commercials. Because commercials, even though they do picture in picture, it does take away from this match. I wish I was in the UK, and I wish I had the UK feed, which if I wanted to, I could probably go online if I had the UK feed. I had to do that a couple times I ended up doing that a couple times when my internet was down and everything, and I actually was able to find the UK feed on those websites or whatever, but I wish I could watch that stuff live, because if I watched it from start to finish with no commercial breaks, I'm like, that's an actually a candidate. But it's just watching it from the States and having that, and then losing that portion of this match with that, it's still up there. It is definitely a great match. FTR is just, they are becoming the fact that the fans are just behind them. I never thought I would see this when I first started watching the Revival in NXT. They were the perfect heel team. They did remind you of the Brainbusters. They felt like that throwback to them, which is what they want to be. And man, AEW has a lot going for it. We have the Owen Hart coming up. We got Battle of the Belts, which looks like I don't know what they're going to do, since apparently it's supposed to be next Saturday. And we got nothing for it but one title match. The tag team title is going to be on Wednesday. The world title is going to be on Friday. What are you defending? I guess the TNT title can be defended, the women's title, and you need at least one more. So I guess that might be where you have Marina Shafir versus Jade Cargill, where if you're doing this as you're doing it, Jade Cargill needs to lose to Marina Shafir, bar none. But they're not going to do that, probably. I don't know. I can only speculate on what they're going to do. I don't even know, unless you're going to do Sammy versus Scorpio Sky again for the TNT title at Battle of the Belts. I don't know who. That's the thing. It's got to be Sammy versus Scorpio, because you have nobody else, unless you're going to have an open challenge by Scorpio Sky that is for anybody but Sammy Guevara. Or so it could be anybody not currently on the active AEW roster, and then you get a new debut, or somebody who's just stopping by like a Warhorse did when Cody did it, or somebody else. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Tony Khan likes to do this whole, we'll announce the stuff on the way to the show. Can't wait to see who else is in the Owen tournament, because that's got me very, very fucking, I'm, very curious to see what's going to happen with the Owen tournament. We got 3 ladies with Sheida, Jamie Hayter, and Toni Storm. I really hope Toni Storm and Jamie Hayter were not I don't want them to be a first-round match. I don't want them to be the finals either. I would really like to see them be, it's going to be an 8-person tournament, so maybe they're the semifinals, which would be, maybe they're in the second round, semifinals, whatever you want to call it. That would be what you'd want to do. But we'll see what happens. This is your AEW View, a very good show. Last week was a lot better. I ranked last week a lot higher just because it was a lot better in my opinion. But this was definitely a good show. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Minds at the France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/TheFrance Club, and find me on Instagram at The France Club. And I will see you guys on Friday for SmackDown and Rampage. Until then, my name is The France, and I'll see you guys later.